Sometimes when you travel, everything goes wrong, so I'm sure that everyone has experienced something like what I'm about to tell you. So this July, my youth group went on a mission trip to Boston, Massachusetts, where we would be working in a college around its campus and its community. My youth pastor Hunter had been planning this trip for months, so a lot went into it. And this year, he decided to fly instead of take a bus like we had usually done. Usually this wouldn't be a problem, but since there were more than 50 of us, it was. So the day comes and we get to the airport 3 hours early so we can go through security and get our bags checked and everything like that. Well, about an hour of being at the airport, Hunter gathers us around and tells us that he has bad news. The flight had been canceled, and I was devastated. I thought that this trip was going to be canceled and that I was going to have to go home. So, after about an hour of Hunter running around, making phone calls, and meeting with Southwest, he finally managed to get us on the flight to Chicago, where a nonstop flight from Milwaukee to Boston would be picking us up and taking us with them. So, after about 7 hours of waiting, we finally get to Chicago, and it's about 11 p.m. And then we had to wait another hour, and then we get on the flight to Boston, which could not have been worse. There was a child screaming the whole time, a cat was meowing, and the turbulence was really bad because of the weather. So we finally get to Boston, and it is 3:30 in the morning. Keep in mind, the original flight was supposed to leave Nashville at 4 and land at Boston at around 7. So we had already made a trip out of this. And when we got to Boston, the airport was deserted because of how late it was, and we had no way of getting to Quincy, which is where the college was, which is about 30 minutes away from downtown Boston, because the public transportation was closed. So we had to wait 2 hours, and I fell asleep in the middle of a deserted airport in Boston, which was weird for me. And so the time comes, we finally get all of our luggage, and we get on this bus to the subway station. And at the subway station, we discovered that the one stop in Quincy, which is where the college was closed for construction. So we had to take the subway to another bus station, which that bus took us to the college campus. But, of course, we got off at the wrong stop. So, it was like 7 in the morning, and 50 of us teenagers were rolling our luggage down the streets of Quincy, Massachusetts, because we got off at the wrong stop. And we were like zombies. We were just sleep deprived because we had been awake since the morning before. And so we finally get to the college, and we're just so tired, but we got a chance to sleep and eat breakfast, and then we woke up and we went to work because it was a mission trip. But even after all of that, I had the best week of my life. That mission trip was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had. So it just goes to show you that no matter how hard things are in the beginning, if you push through it and keep a positive attitude about it, then you'll end up having a really good time. And now I have a crazy story to tell whenever we talk about traveling. And in case you're wondering, we got from Boston to Nashville perfectly fine, and there were no problems.